In 1978 in November, something happened that so shocked and traumatized me. Not just me, but just the whole nation. We all watched it on TV, saw it in the newspapers. Jim Jones and his town in Guyana, 900 suicide murders. Jim Jones sitting in his chair with a Bible in his hand. That tragedy, that obscenity, so offended me that I remember taking my scriptures, you know, the Bible, Book of Mormon, and throwing them in a garbage can. I was absolutely enraged at such a heinous act. And yet, Western culture has hundreds of examples like that. Ever since the rise of Christianity as a state religion, you know, these atrocities have existed, you know. It really affected me. I threw my Bible away. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was so disgusted by Jim Jones and the horrible suicide murder of 900 people that had it not happened in November, I would have just simply gone to the mountains. But the snows were already collecting. I would never have survived it. And so I waited till spring. I knew I had to go to the mountains and be alone for the rest of my life just to save my children, my family, from the rage that I felt. It's interesting, my rage was never directed at God. My rage was directed at anyone and everyone who promoted the biblical monster that they called Jehovah. I knew then, in November 1978, whatever this Jehovah was, I was going to be his most relentless and implacable enemy. As long as humanity existed, as long as my spirit existed, I would show that monster one human who would not bend the knee in abject terror, but would fly into its face ready for a war. I decided that, but I also knew I had to go to the mountains. There was nothing for me in the community that I lived in, which was in Utah. I was surrounded by all these Mormons. And I got to the place where I just simply couldn't stand the church. I couldn't stand the lies. I got absolutely fed up of my good opinions being suborned by the absolute bad opinions of anyone who had church authority. A church run by morons, you know. So I decided to go to the mountains.